Hello, I want to give you my 2018 quarterback prospect ratings. So I'm going to give you the top 10 quarterbacks going into this class. And you're hearing so far that this is a very stacked class. And I think that there are a lot of prospects, but I don't think they're as good as what they're being made out to be. I think there's a lot of very average prospects. So let's get into it. So number one, who is the best prospects? So far, it is absolutely, without a doubt, Sam Darnold. Everyone knows this. So he is going into his second year of playing football. He has a great breakout age. Maybe I should hurry up and say the big three analytically driven stats for determining a good prospect. So the first one is it's production. It is a mixture of QBR and yards per attempts. And basically, you take the total QBR, which is a stat listed on ESPN, and you take the yards per attempt, and you can basically figure out, okay, were you productive in college? We actually found, if you look at most, people just looking at stats, they'll say, oh, he got 4,000 yards. Oh, he got 25 touchdowns. He's good. But you have to realize, it's not about those stats. Those don't matter. The stats that matter are the receptions. How many receptions did it take you to get to that? Because I think some people think if you hit those milestones, you're fine. No. If you throw the ball 700 times, no shit you're going to get 4,000 yards. No shit you're going to have 25 touchdowns. It's literally on a per reception basis, how good are you? And QBR is a great measurement of what that is, and same with yards per attempt. So Sam Darnold came in and he was extremely productive. He had an 86 QBR, which is extremely high, beyond elite. But the only thing is that if you were to compare him to another quarterback, it would basically be Jameis Winston. He came in and did the same thing. But the difference is that Jameis had a worse team and was more productive, and Sam Darnold, because basically Sam Darnold had Juju Smith-Schuster, who is a very underrated prospect, and then Jameis Winston had Kelvin Benjamin, who was a very overrated prospect, and people are going to disagree with that, but analytics says Kelvin Benjamin is not very good. So Sam Darnold, it's not that he's not good, it's just that he's not as good as a past prospect like Jameis Winston, and so just think of Sam Darnold as lesser Jameis Winston. They have really similar size. He's actually more athletic, so he's more like if you could imagine Carson Wentz, but better at football. He's almost more of he's a Ben Roethlisberger, Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz-ish type of quarterback. So if you think about those three together, that's essentially Sam Darnold. And this is all before the combine, remember. All my opinions could totally change with the combine and some of the advanced stats that we do receive. But this is as of right now, after the first game of college football. So the next two quarterbacks, I believe, are in one tier. And this is where people really disagree with me on who's the next two quarterbacks. So number two, and people are going to say this is crazy, no way. I think it is Baker Mayfield. And people are going to hear that. They're going to be like, what the hell? How is it Baker Mayfield? If you look at Baker Mayfield as a prospect right now, just as a prospect, not talking about the personality parts of him, or obviously he got tackled by that cop, and then he had that, what was he? He was drunk and being crazy one night, whatever. I actually think, though, just football alone, just speaking on football terms, he might actually be a better prospect than Sam Darnold. Now, he's totally going to be combine dependent. If he has a bad combine, he's probably going to be a Johnny Manziel, Casey Keenum, Aaron Murray, a really good college quarterback who would probably be a really good CFL quarterback, but just does not have the tools to make it in the NFL. But we won't know that until the combine. And so it's basically a measurement of his arm strength. That's what we need to know, because he's only 6'1". I believe he is 6'1". Let me check really quick. I have it written down. He is 6'1", 220. So, and that's on ESPN. So he might actually be 6 foot, 220, but he's extremely athletic. So basically, based off of his size and what his projected analytical speeds are supposed to be, he literally might be a better prospect than Russell Wilson. I know people are going to say that's fucking crazy, but remember, Russell Wilson was a third-round pick because of his height. But the thing is, at the combine, he proved he had the arm. So he had the arm, he had the athleticism, and he had all of the production metrics. Basically, the best production metrics of any quarterback ever. And so Baker Mayfield might literally be the one to out Russell Wilson. So he'll probably be a third or fourth round pick. And if he ends up not having those off the field issues, he will literally be an elite prospect. I just have him at tier 2 because we don't know with the combine. Whereas Sam Darnold, we basically know, yes, he's going to be an elite prospect. Baker Mayfield has some question marks, but he's like right up there with Sam Darnold. Then the next one behind him, this is where people disagree. It has more to do with the quarterbacks behind him, I think, are underrated. But the number 3 quarterback for me so far is Mike White. So Mike White is 6'4", 230, same size as Sam Darnold, and he was and wasn't productive. So he was not productive until his junior year. So that means he had an early breakout age. He was good from an early age, but he wasn't elite until his junior year, which the amazing quarterback prospects, they typically have a few years of being elite. Andrew Luck, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, just to name a few, have had many years of being elite. Mike White wasn't good until his junior year. And if you look at his quarterback rating, it was 77.6. Now, that's the quarterback rating of quarterbacks like Derek Carr, Matt Stafford. So basically, he's going to be in that Jay Cutler, Stafford, Carr level quarterback play. So he has absolutely, because of that, franchise potential. But then there's one more stat, though, that he has on his side that others don't. And that is he's had 8 games of elite quarterback play in his junior year of football. So because he had 8 games, basically what that means is that the games he was really bad in, he was really bad. And the games he was really good in, he was really good. So he wasn't as consistent. So the thing is, posting 8 elite level games in a year is crazy. That is extremely rare. Only the elite quarterback prospects have been able to post numbers like that. And not only that, he's posting that while being 6'4", 230 pounds. So he has the size of an NFL quarterback. He probably has the arm of an NFL quarterback, and he posted the production of an NFL quarterback. So he looks like a franchise quarterback to my eyes. And I should probably go back and give some comps. So Sam Darnold's comps were Ben Roethlisberger and Jameis Winston. I say those were the big 2. Baker Mayfield's he's either going to be Russell Wilson or he's going to be Deshaun Watson and basically flame out. But anyways, Mike White's, his comps, I would basically say, are probably going to be like Jay Cutler or Sam Bradford. Though that's more of what you're looking at with him. Potentially Alex Smith, but I doubt it. He's more of Sam Bradford, who has a little bit more upside. But imagine Sam Bradford right now if he didn't have the injury history and the way he's playing now that he's older. People would say, yeah, he is a franchise quarterback. He's a decent prospect. He can hold your team together, but he's not elite. That's what I think most people would say. So that's basically what Mike White is. So after that, the 4th tier, I kind of put 3 different quarterbacks into this tier. It is Mason Rudolph, Josh Allen, and Jake Browning. So Rudolph and Allen are really similar prospects. You hear a lot about them now. They're kind of like I almost feel like they're being hyped up by the media. And I actually don't think they're that great of prospects. Basically, they weren't very productive, but they're really big dude. They're 6'5", 230. And if they have all the NFL tools at their disposal, it's really just a matter of like, okay, are they productive? And one of the bigger red flags, what people, once you get to like the 6'5" range, I guess 6'4" as well, you should, without a doubt, be more productive just because of your size. And if you're not that in college, that's actually a big red flag. So far, Josh Allen has not been productive, and Mason Rudolph he has very average production. So I would say Josh Allen needs to definitely step it up this year a lot, or else I'm going to be like, no, he's not that great of a prospect. And Rudolph so far, actually his first game, he posted a very amazing first game, totally elite game. And if he keeps this up, I'll be like, yes, Mason Rudolph, I am sold on him. He's a great prospect, but I'm not there yet. He has to convince me still. But so far, those two are basically in the Carson Palmer and Carson Wentz territory of NFL caliber quarterbacks. So Carson Palmer is basically somewhat of a career quarterback, I guess. He switched teams because he wasn't viewed as good enough. He was viewed as someone that couldn't win. He really only had like 2 years of actually having high quality quarterback play, and then everything else is basically pretty average. And then Carson Wentz so far has been extremely, I would actually say below average for his rookie year, but he'll probably be like average, an average franchise quarterback. I don't think he'll be elite. I don't think he'll be amazing, but he is absolutely average. So in every way possible. So that's what you're looking at with those two. They could probably hold your franchise for maybe 4 years, but after that, it's probably not going to work out well. And this is as of now. Think about Carson Palmer for both of those two. Think about the career path of Carson Palmer. That's probably Mason Rudolph and Josh Allen. So they'll probably be journeymen, but we'll see. And the other one in that tier was Jake Browning. Now, I think Jake Browning has a lot of potential. I think that if you look at his comps so far, I would say he's really similar to Derek Carr and Andy Dalton. That's kind of the prospect that he's looking to be. But he's one of those, if he has a bad combine, he's going to, right away, it's going to be like, nope, undraftable. He's one of those, that's where people don't realize the combine actually is a lot more helpful than what people realize. Because there's a lot of people I know that watch film that go like, yes, the combine doesn't really matter. It's there and whatever. No, like the combine is for people like me that do the analytical stats and create the comps. And it's a great way of measuring, okay, what type of NFL player are you going to be? Not can you play, but what type are you going to be? Can you fit into these schemes? Can you fit into, let's say, these comps? And can we find out if, okay, you're really similar to this player who's extremely productive in on the NFL level? That's what that's for. So, but anyways, so yeah, Jake Browning, he's basically like an Andy Dalton, Derek Carr level prospect. The thing is, though, the red flag for him is that he had a very good team last year. And last year was the year I would say I looked at him and I was like, okay, he might have NFL caliber potential. But he had Josh, the hell was his name? John Ross. He had John Ross. He had a great defense backing him too. So we'll see how he is in the future in this season. So far, he hasn't been that great, but we'll have to see. It's only been one game. Let's not overreact. The last in the tier of where I'm like, okay, it's a franchise quarterback, is Josh Rosen. So Josh Rosen he's one of those quarterbacks that he looks on paper like a NFL franchise quarterback. Just looking at all of his metrics, his like athleticism, his size, but he's not actually productive. But then I know a lot of film people like him. So he literally sounds 1 for 1 with one quarterback who I think people would say is a franchise quarterback. That's why I have him on here. He is like literally 1 for 1 with Ryan Tannehill. Josh Rosen is Ryan Tannehill. So if you think Ryan Tannehill is a franchise quarterback, I actually do not. Josh Rosen's your guy. You can take him. But that's all he is. And Ryan Tannehill is no different than Alex Smith or really any of those level quarterbacks where they will not win you a Super Bowl. You can have them on your team. Your quarterback position, I guess, will be stable, but you will not reach the pinnacle that you need to win playoff games, to win the Super Bowl. So that's where he's at. He's if, hey, take him the third round if you're the Cardinals for after Carson Palmer, then use him until the time you can actually draft a quality NFL starter. So that's essentially what it is. But then after that, 8, 9, and 10 I have is very similar prospects. So they're JT Barrett, Lamar Jackson, and Quinton Flowers. So those three are almost identical prospects. I view JT Barrett as the best of the bunch. JT Barrett, I would say, is basically dependent on this year. He had an elite freshman year, but I actually think that has more to do with the team he was on rather than his actual ability to play. But we'll see. If he is good and elite this year, and so far he has been, then that'll actually change my mind. But so far, I don't think he is. And all these, by the way, all these JT Barrett, Lamar Jackson, Quinton Flowers, they're combine dependent as well. So the combine will basically determine whether or not they're RG3 or if they're Tyrod Taylor. All of which, and when I say RG3, remember, think more of 2012 RG3. That's what you have to think more of. So right now I don't think that they're franchise quarterbacks because RG3 didn't work out because of injury, and what has almost all of these types of running backs, or I guess quarterbacks that run, dealt with. It's the injuries. So JT Barrett is looking to be more of an RG3. Lamar Jackson, I think, is more of Tyrod Taylor. And Quinton Flowers, I view as more of Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor had an amazing 2015 season, and his 2016 season wasn't bad at all. But he's not really looked at as a franchise quarterback. He's not looked at as a long-term guy. He's someone that could maybe hold your franchise pretty good for 4 years or so, but will probably get injured and flame out. It's literally more about the injuries than anything else. And if you could stay healthy and you end up having a good arm, then you're Russell Wilson. So I'm saying that they're more like RG3 and Tyrod Taylor, but depending on the combine, they could literally have a Russell Wilson level combine and be elite. They could literally move up 5. Each of them could move up 5 spots on this draft board. But that's it, though. That's basically the best quarterbacks. After that, if you want to give me suggestions on maybe talk about anyone, giving them comps or anything like that, feel free to do so. But basically that, from what I can tell so far, based off all the evidence that we have, that is how your 2018 quarterbacks are looking. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a fantastic day.